Hello, everybody. I hope you are all well. It's a pleasure to stay here with Jan. Today, I'm very excited to talk about a very fascinating topic with Jan Höppner, CEO and founder of MFR. And this topic has accompanied me for a very long time. And smart field services, as the headline says, connecting equipment and service teams is, for me personally, a very important topic in IoT projects. And I'm from Software Professional Service, as you already said, Tail. And I have worked in different projects. And I'm also a software developer and a product owner of 2 open source components I will introduce today as well. It's probably hard to see, but we have developed here 2 open source components with a Cumulocity customer, Enercon, in a co-innovation project. To integrate field service management systems in a better way as we could do before. And the customer used their own field service management solution based on SAP to integrate with his backend system. And we also created an UI plugin to that so that you can directly use the cockpit to work with this new integration. We will look at this later on in more detail. And I'm also really happy that we have a new partner, MFR, which joined and parallel implemented also a connector to this new backend system and also supported us during the development phase with field service management knowledge, and you could even better produce a good API for the service request microservice. And with that, MFR is the first field service management system which can integrate with Cumulocity in that way, and I would say it's a really kind of seamlessly integrated way with Cumulocity. And let's go a little bit more to a theoretical topic. What means smart field services to you? So think and let me know after the presentation. And I think it probably depends really on your role, on your business model, on your customers, the devices you have. And there are also, as you can remember, in the headline, there were 2 aspects mentioned. One is connected equipment, which stands short for IoT, and connected field service. And this is, of course, stands for field service management. And let me share my perspective from 7 years IoT projects I have done with professional service on this topic. And the most important key finding I had is that you would like to provide field service, real field service, you have to combine both. You have to combine IoT with field service management. And there are, of course, some people from the IoT side which would argue that you can reduce field service on-site activities with IoT almost to null, but I don't believe that is possible. Most physical assets on the field, they need from time to time on-site actions, that's for sure. And therefore, Jan will later on share the perspective from a more field service management side, which I feel really interesting. I have the IoT view always, and Jan has more the field service management view. And if you combine both things, you get a really good picture of how smart field services can work. So now that's my IoT view, more or less. So, and to show you a little bit how field service management is involved in these different phases of a device, in the device lifecycle, I have chosen to present this lifecycle here. So you have to know that, you probably know, to Cumulocity there are many different assets connected in devices. We have routers, we have robots, we have wind turbines, we have hospital equipment and elevators, racing cars. And last year in Budapest, I learned that we have even roller coasters connected to Cumulocity, which I find quite interesting. And all these devices follow actually a quite similar life cycle. And in some steps and phases there is clearly field services involved. So we have a connection between field services. So let's start with the first one, the provision and setup phase. There are certainly on-site activities needed. So someone has to go on-site, install the device or the asset, does some specific configurations like geolocation, if there's, for example, no GPS, but he has to add this to the device or to the asset. He also has to add this asset maybe to a parent asset like a building or a service location or whatever. And also some specific parameterization could be an action of this field service technician to do. And of course, he has to set up the connectivity maybe to Cumulocity if it's not already done, prepared before, or he has to do some certificate updates, whatever. And to get a complete holistic view of these, you could imagine that these steps which the service technician is doing could also be stored on the digital twin, that you have in the future holistic view what the service technician has done combined with the IoT data. Let's move to the next phase. Sure, that's a typical Cumulocity phase, monitoring and diagnostic. The new products and the smart products will, of course, have remote capabilities here, and this is typical IoT use case. So monitoring, connectivity, telemetry data, alarms, and of course, all the remote control access things you know from Cumulocity. This is, I would say, an IoT, typical IoT stuff only. A configuration update counts here the same. So we have firmware management, software management, so remote update of software and firmware, and remote configuration management. I have to say, of course, we also have a legacy fleet often outside, and then devices have not the capability to have remote functions like this. And here, of course, we can also think of field service activities involved in this phase. Now let's go to the number 4, maintenance and repair. This is the most, in my point of view, the most important phase where customer satisfaction matters a lot. And here we have to plan these actions really accurate and fast. And here we need a really good integration in between field service management and IoT. So it's important that all roles involved in this complete process have the data on hand. So we have often in-house support, which is maybe doing great as seeing an alarm. And then we have also on-site field service technicians, which also need this data on hand. And if you could also provide a communication between these two worlds, so we have a service technician on-site, and we have also someone in-house, then it's just perfect. Then we get the action much better done, the repair and the maintenance. And again, if you would like to have a complete holistic view of these phases, then we can document everything, store this on the digital twin, and this gives you a really good picture in the future. And the next one, last but not least, it's quite similar to the provisioning step, decommissioning, replacement. Of course, the tasks are different, but again, we have this combination between field service management and IoT, and if this is integrated, this would be really great. I have to admit, I have seen a lot of customers which have not such a holistic view on a device lifecycle, and also not such a holistic view how to integrate field service management and IoT. And they have often own build solutions, or their worlds are totally separated and not integrated. And they also have a lack of scalability and new feature stuff. And for that reason, why not using Cumulocity and a standard product like MFR, which is a field service management system, and have everything integrated seamlessly. With that, I hand over to Jan.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much for your introduction. Can you hear me? All right. So we're talking today about field service management, and we will discover the power of IoT and FSM at the same time. When working together with Alex, we realized quickly that both fields are in fact very related and very connected to each other, so IoT and FSM. The results of our findings, how IoT and FSM together can change eventually your business model and eventually also expand your business model. I'm going to show you this then later. But before I'm going to start talking about business models, I want to give you some facts about my company. I'm Jan Höppner, CEO of Simplias, and a seven figures as a strong growing company with 7 figures ARR. So we are annual recurring revenue, strongly growing, and we are currently market leader in Germany for field service management. Our features that we are offering our customers they like very much from us are, for example, features like exceptional reporting capabilities, automation features that help you to automate all kind of processes, because, and this is exactly what makes us similar to Software AG, we are also a product that is like horizontal and not a vertical product. So it allows you really to go through different branches and customize the product to your needs. Common or very well-known customers that are using our products are, for example, Daikin, that are currently having 500 technicians using our system with automatic dispatching. DHL, Deutsche Post, and Vitronet, that are doing Glasfaser, and Solar, which are doing renewable energies. All these customers are entrusting our system with dispatching their teams. Moreover, we have customers, for example, like Lely, that are vendors for automatic cow milking machines. And they are quite successful with our products. And what all customers have in common, from my point of view, is that all of these processes are not the same. They completely differ from use case to use case. And this is exactly what we cater for. And this makes us an excellent partner for Software AG. My next thing is, how can you expand business with FSM and IoT? I think some of you already have an FSM solution, like field service management solution in place. I think you already have an ITSM solution, ticketing system, answering customer requests, and this is also for sure. And for sure, you're also having an IoT solution like Cumulocity. But what happens if the asset is broken? You have to exchange the parts, you have to order a technician, you have to order the parts, you have to provide the documentation, you have to document, you have to take pictures, you have to have like a seamless integration of both systems. So now I want you to look at your processes right now. And think about the processes, and are these processes like very fluently integrated so that IoT, the IoT world and the FSM world are playing very nicely together? Chances are that you will find, like I would say, overcomplicated processes that are that are like labor intensive, and they are for sure involving like costly. They're very costly, as you can say. Our goal is to transition away from these cost-intensive models and towards models that are emphasizing efficiency and customer centricity. FSM allows you to do resource allocations and achieve this through understanding the resource availability. Moreover, I want you to also reassess your current contracts with customers, especially these contracts that are involving service level agreements. In the sense, our vision is to minimize manual intervention by integrating IoT and FSM, prioritizing customer needs and exploring growth through strategic partnership is another point that I think is very important and that we should focus on. What is smart field service and IoT in fact? So the thing is, with IoT you have tons of data, and these tons of data, you're accumulating them, and I think you've seen this in many examples in the presentations right now. And the thing is, you have them not in the technician's fingertips. So somehow you need to transfer these data and apply some AI, but probably, and then convert them that the technician understands it and that you provide them in understandable commands. Imagine now you have like a platform like Cumulocity. Tons of data, and you're creating thousands of alerts. And then you're having people that are sitting there, reading these alerts, understanding these alerts, creating orders, and then you have to communicate with the customers, ordering the right parts, finding the right technician again, and this is, as I see it, very costly and can cost a lot of time. I haven't seen a very nice integrated solution so far, and that's why Alex and we are here, and we're going to change this. So the thing is, if you want to increase now the customer experience and customer satisfaction, because your quality of your assets are also increasing, this can only work if you integrate both processes very seamlessly, because otherwise you're losing time and money. Try to avoid having different not connected systems. This is something that is important and that we have seen also in many places, because many vendors are taking different systems. One is taking pictures, the other one is making an IoT platform, the other one is having a project planning platform, and then they somehow try to connect everything, but in the end they have data silos. And this is always a dead end in the digital world, and we cannot recommend this. Now, next point, I think, and this is a very important point for me, FSM, as we see it, is the link to the customer. What we encourage you is to engage with customer and think customer-centric. How many of you, or think about it, how many of you are making a significant revenue from top-notch maintenance, professional field service, and exceptional customer experience? The era where we are navigating is not about products, selling products and services anymore. Vendors already are taking the next step, and they're going further, and they're getting further and creating seamless and engaging customer stories around the customer that not only just meet but also anticipate the customer needs. This is quite important. More important, or another point that I see is, if you are imagine the customer is in a world where the technology is so nicely integrated with IoT that appointments are automatically scheduled at the customer convenience without having him to lift even a finger, saying, hey, something is wrong. A world where you keep the customer in the loop. You keep him updated all the time about incidences, about alerts, about problems, because this gives him confidence that you're the right partner, and this is forging I would say, a bondage and a relationship with the customer, and it will improve your business. But let's take this even now a step further. I mean, you have understood this whole thing now, but if you're now considering offering new contracts to the customer that allow him to fully concentrate on his entire business, and giving him, so that he can completely, with a peace of mind, that he completely can rely on your services and the asset availability with a peace of mind, and that he is able to grow. And I can say this is a promise, and it's a promise for uninterrupted continuity of his services. But to achieve this and to give him the promise to the customer, what you have to do is you have to automate the interfaces between the IoT world and the FSM world, because otherwise you cannot expand your business model to the next step. This approach of automation and field service does more it's more than a value that you're providing to a customer. It gives you now, as a company, the opportunity to create and have sustainable growth, innovation, and also create kind of a competitive edge that is very hard to replicate. Next thing that I'm talking about, so do you know that actually, and we really have a lot of experience in field service management, we have like 10,000 technicians. Do you know 40% of service technicians and day-to-day business is not associated with value-adding activities? This can involve, for example, creating long protocols, taking pictures, uploading them in a platform that has to be online, waiting for parts, waiting for the customer to come, going on-site, understanding, okay, some parts are missing, or I don't have all information from the IoT platform, driving back, so I have a high first-time fix rate, and these kind of things can be avoided if you are automating smart field service, also field service management, and combine the IoT world with the FSM world. Moreover, our approach goes for shortening the reaction time through IoT, assisted decision finding, and proper information. I think if both worlds are nicely integrated, they will also allow you to improve the quality and increase life expectancies of your assets, and this makes you stay competitive in the asset as a service. Asset as a service is my next topic. Imagine you're not a vendor or like a provider, but rather a partner for customers. That is where products are not mere tools, but like a part of the customer's life, an integral part of the customer's life, and that are continuously developing along with the customer. I think this is something that we should achieve, and this is something great. Because the thing is, in the long term, products that we are developing as a vendor will become rather commodities, and the service will be becoming more and more important, and more important also for your future business models that you're going to develop. FSM, and this is what I want to say, is here the key to the customer, because it gives you the opportunity to stay in touch with the customer at the customer side. Because the technician goes to the customer, he sees the installation, he sees the products there, he sees eventually some failures or things that have to be replaced, and you see eventually concerns from the customer that can be addressed in a level where it's eventually not too late. Another point that we see is by creating asset as a service, you're going to increase the availability of devices and also have the chance to have extend the life from assets that are out there. Now, in the end, I want to give you like an overview how I see the future of IoT and FSM. I have to say that many interfaces that we are currently having are in FSM are currently in the way that it's still involving manual tasks, a lot of manual work, and we want to achieve that they're completely automated. Automated in the way that we are detecting the problem already at the point when it's happening. I think this is something that is important for companies like Enercon and also for the group. And it's also important to create a kind of a decision-making skill and improve and help the technician on site to fix his problems or the issue that he has at the customer side. Customer-centric products will focus more on quality. And as I said, it's important to have no human interaction due to interconnectivity between IoT and FSM. Next thing, and this is what I've found very important and difficult to solve in FSM, is like the ordering and managing these parts, because these ordering processes depend always on other suppliers, and this is something that we also want to tackle and that we want to automate, and yeah, so that's what, yeah, this is my presentation, and I want to thank you and give it to Alex.
Okay, thank you very much. So I have to hurry up. Jan, you were a bit too long, but anyway, let me go back. So thank you for your insights and your broad vision of FSM. And let me go back a bit in the past. So 2022, a customer came to me and asked me, how do you reflect the standard IT use case of transferring dispatching an alarm to a service request or a ticket in your IT platform? At this time, I did not have the right answer. We did not have any standard, or there were a lot of different solutions out there. I'm pretty proud that we have achieved 2024 some kind of standard solution with these two open components to integrate both systems. I mean, this is just one use case. It's probably only the beginning, but this is a good start to integrate more and more use cases with field service management. And I'm also proud that Jan joined and is a good partner, because I see there are really a lot of similarities between the platforms. It's a cloud platform, as Cumulocity is. We have similar API technologies. The APIs are open and well documented. And both systems are so flexible that you can adapt the customer needs very well. So for me, that's why this is a perfect match if you would like to integrate in a good way. But these two components, of course, oh, sorry, I forgot, allow to integrate any field service management system. But I mean, it does not have any integration inside, but it makes it much easier to integrate. And we don't want just to talk about theoretical and abstract things today. I will also show you what the solution looks like. And with that, this is really the system architecture how at the moment. We have the device and assets sending data to Cumulocity. As you know, we have Apama, our streaming analytics, analyzing the data flow of the data, creating alarms with your smart rules, whatever, or creating some maintenance events, whatever you would like to do. And now we have here these two open source components. And actually, you can all use them for free. They are available at GitHub. There is a plugin, service request, and this is a simple UI where you can select alarms and dispatch them to a service request. And this service request management microservice is a backend for this UI, but also provides a suitable API to any field service management tools like MFR. And as I already said, MFR also joined, which is really great. I had a Cumulocity customer and also a field service management provider, which gave me some insights. And they, in parallel, they developed also a connector to this API and connected their FSM platform to it. And it's working, and I will show you right now. I hope you see a little bit. Oh, sorry. Actually, we moved this yesterday bigger, but was not saved maybe. But anyway, so what you can see here, I have connected here my iPhone. And when you have installed this plugin, you have a new tab in the cockpit. Yeah, you have the alarm list you can select. And here, when you select the alarm, then you can create a service request and choose here some additional data like priority, status, and here you can insert some description. You can also add some attachment if you like, and this object is now stored at Cumulocity as an event. And as you can see, there is also an automatic which you can configure a transformation. When this service request is created, automatically the alarm gets acknowledged, which makes sense, right? So now I am in the field service management MFR platform. Now this is now synchronized, these service requests. And now I can do the daily planning, and which we also implemented is that we created a device snapshot in a report. There are master data in for the device. We have also chosen some measurements for a certain time range and an event list. I mean, this report is really just a proof of concept, but with the MFR platform, it's easy to generate such reports. And these are the typical actions and features you have in a field service management tool, checklist, material. And what I also said, and this is also what we implemented, that we have the possibility to communicate between these two worlds. So there are the in-house people, which mainly using the cockpit, and then the field service technician, which are using the field service tools. So also a mobile application you have in your portfolio, which is of course the main application which is used by the service technician later on. And now it's planned, it's assigned to me, and now this status that this service request is now assigned to me is also synchronized. You can't see it, but now the status is also changed here, that the in-house guy can see, someone is working on it, and I also have written some message here. And again, now he can answer, or maybe he can also attach some additional documents, maybe in a report with some data, maybe some PDF where it's described what he has to do, some error codes, whatever, he can also submit. And this gets also to the field service technician, which is, I think, pretty helpful. I wrote a long message, so again, that's also then synchronized with the field service management tool. I think that's it. And now I can also see again this message here in the project of MFR. And what I also really like, then you can start communicating in the service request context or device context very efficiently between both worlds. And of course, I also simulate now that someone is working there, and I will also now change and close the job. And if this is done, this is of course also synchronized to the IoT platform. And I will just refresh the page here in that moment, and you will see the service request is closed. There are the filters at the moment that the service requests which are closed not shown, and here the alarm is also automatically cleared. So you have the complete flow from an alarm to a service request with this combination, which I think I haven't seen so far before. Yeah, that's from my side. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions after the presentation, or if you want to see a demo, we can also support you here. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah.
Any questions?
Thanks for the presentation. I'm not very clear. MFR, what is MFR's contribution to the
MFR is a field service management platform.
A what?
A field service management platform.
Oh, field service management.
So for organizing technicians in the field.
Oh, I thought that was simple. That's where.
Synthers is the company, and MFR is the product from Synthers.
Okay, okay, so. Understood. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. Very, very interesting. We have a particular, it's a very similar use case, but it's not identical. So I just wanted to kind of understand a little bit about how the platform functions. So we have IoT devices installed in the field. We have a field service team that's visiting customers every week, every day, every month, whatever set, depending on the service plan. So we have our IoT data, and we have information that the service technicians will be collecting during their routine visits. Does your platform help in the integration of those two different data sources? And could you maybe give an example if it does?
As I already said, this use case I showed, this is the first step we did. So this was inspired by Enercon, actually, by the use case. And of course, what you said, this is exactly also another use case we would like to implement and to integrate. So that's this data which is also collected on the field of the service technician, maybe also with a field service management tool, is synchronized back to the IoT platform. I have many use cases in my mind, so I could also imagine that the service technician has additional sensors to attach to things and records this data back to this device. And this data must, of course, also go to this device, which usually does not have these data. And also, if some spare parts are replaced, this is also important to know in the IoT platform, or if taking pictures is really a simple approach. This would be already possible with our solution, so you can write a comment, attach a picture to it, and again, everything what the microservice is doing is stored as event in Cumulocity. And so this is movement data. You can then offload, and then you have the complete picture of your device. And yeah, this has to be implemented, as I already said. This is the first step, but we would like to do more and more integration. But then we need also customers, we need partners to do so. And I'm really happy if someone would like to contribute to the open source project here. So if you have some own solution, we can talk and we can expand here.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be useful to follow up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. So is this an open source project, or is this a commercial thing? And if it's a commercial thing, how is this?
There are two things. So these Cumulocity components, they are open source. We have two. One, the microservice, which reflects the domain model of the field service management. And then we have the UI. And then this is what Jan developed. This is a connector to the MFR. This is, of course, commercial. There's a plugin in your platform, if you would.
Exactly. We have an integration to the IoT platform from Cumulocity, and this is open source. There's no extra cost from us. You just have to our platform. The field service management platform is commercial for sure, as Cumulocity is. But the product, the connector itself, is for now it's like open source.
Yeah. So from the software AG side, the commercialization is between you. So
yes.
Simple as licensing.
So licensing for Cumulocity on this side, and field service management on our side.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, great. Just an interesting topic from my perspective. When you work in FSM and when you work in an OEM model, so an OEM makes the product, FSM's service and systems typically look after said product or services in the field. A lot of times, organizations are disconnected from that whole space because they want to sell the whole goods, and then the field service look after the aftermarket. And what's your experiences in trying to get a supply chain working as one? So you've got a separate organization, typically a separate brand, distribution networks. These are quite complex scenarios, and I'm just curious if you've had that experience as well.
Yeah, we already had these experience in the way that we are also working with subcontractors, because the thing is, you have most of the time your own field service agents, but in order to lower cost and lower the risk, you're also operating with subcontractors that you can give tasks and that you can give permissions to just have access to certain assets and to certain information and jobs, and in this way you can send a job to them, dispatch it, and if he is executing a job in the real time, so in a time that it's that we define, then everything is fine. He can fulfill the whole task, and yeah, if the installation is done, it's returned back to the customer, and the customer is being informed automatically, and we are synchronizing the data back to the Cumulocity. The thing is, it's just about the product. Our solution is made in the way that we just can very fine-grain the permissions that we give to certain people about accessing certain data. And we're also not giving him the whole access to the Cumulocity. So what we do, and we thought about this, because of this, we're taking kind of a snapshot and providing this to the technician as an information, and then the technician can operate on it, and it's nothing critical for us.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.